Two stories from the past couple of days show how the energy shortage is starting to bite. Together they paint a picture of a colder, darker, poorer future for New Zealand unless we take urgent steps to restore confidence in the exploration and development of our natural gas resources. Whinstone Pulp has responded to the unsustainable high prices they claim, potentially 5 or 6 times more than they pay for electricity compared to their competitors overseas, by shutting down mills and putting hundreds of workers on notice this week. An outcome that, if they proceed, would devastate another regional community in New Zealand because of high energy prices. Jude Sinai, a worker at Karioi Pulp Mill and a First Union delegate, said mill workers were already talking about emigrating to Australia given the lack of comparable manufacturing jobs in the region. Jude says this is horrendous, not just for us but for all Ruapehu locals. The teachers, the schools, the doctors, the supermarkets and everyone else in this region who relies on these mill jobs to support our local economy. Labor and the Greens should listen to Jude. Down south, Tiwai Point has extended the shutdown in production in a deal to give energy back to the gentailers so they can supply New Zealand homes. It mirrors a similar deal Methanex struck recently to free up natural gas to allow electricity generators to run at higher loads. In a first world country, we shouldn't have to shut down productive industries just to keep the lights on in our towns and cities. But that's where we're at right now. We can't go on this way. We're in an energy crisis. If it becomes an annual event, then we will see the hollowing out, the deindustrialisation, the loss of wealth in our regional communities and provinces. On cold mornings, we're coming close to blackouts. New Zealand is coming close to blackouts. We can't rely on hydro alone, although it's a great renewable. Usually in an energy crunch, we dip into our vast supply of natural gas. But the previous government quashed that by insisting on a poorly thought out ban on gas and oil exploration. They wrecked investor confidence to explore and develop new resources and to invest in businesses, including electricity generation that requires gas. But New Zealand's been here before. This should not be a surprise to us. In the 1990s, a succession of dry years combined with increased demand for electricity and energy led to an energy shortage and blackouts. But you know what? New Zealand responded in a sensible and logical way. There was opposition then to using natural gas because of the effect of greenhouse gases on the climate, but 2 combined cycle gas turbines were built, though one at Stratford and Taranaki, about 400 megawatts, another in Auckland at Southdown, about 200 megawatts. Well, the Southdown plant has just been demolished. It reached the end of its 30-year life. The 1996 Taranaki plant can't have too many more years left in it. That's around 600 megawatts of electricity, firming or baseload, that even our renewable development is absolutely dependent on. Natural gas must be a part of New Zealand's energy future. This government has committed to reversing the ban on oil and gas exploration, but the sector still looks at New Zealand, both here domestically and internationally, that the New Zealand government is a risk to future development. A future government could shut them down, just on a whim, maybe an announcement at a university, like the former Prime Minister Ardern and Energy Minister Megan Woods did. I've written to party leaders from across the House asking for a cross-party agreement on the future of natural gas. If the likes of Chris Hipkins and Chloe Strawbrook can meet in the middle and agree that natural gas companies will be allowed to operate, that we can develop our natural gas resources, then we'll see more investment and ultimately restoration of affordability and resilience. The ACT Party looks forward to their reply. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.